My name is Evelyn, and I'm 68 years old. I live alone now in a quiet neighborhood on the edge of town. I never imagined I'd tell this story, but something about the silence in this house lately has been so loud. I feel like I need to speak. For nearly 42 years, I was married to a man named Arthur. He was gentle, consistent, and warm in ways that didn't always show. We met when I was 22. Back then, I had dreams of becoming a painter. But like many young women in the 70s, those dreams faded behind the responsibilities of family. I don't say that with regret. Not entirely. We had 2 children. I stayed home and raised them while Arthur worked long hours at a local hardware supplier. Our home was modest, but filled with routines, laughter, and the kind of small joys that often go unnoticed. But as the children grew up and left, and Arthur eventually retired, something strange started to happen. We began living beside each other instead of with each other. We had grown comfortable, predictable. One day, I stood in front of the mirror and didn't recognize myself. My hair had thinned, my waist had softened, and my eyes, once full of dreams and ideas, now just looked tired. That scared me, so I started taking walks alone. Long ones. Past the park where we used to take the kids. Through streets we hadn't visited in years. I needed to feel something again. Not romance, not youth, but purpose. One afternoon I walked into a small local gallery. I hadn't picked up a brush in decades, but something about the canvases on those walls, raw, imperfect, beautiful, stirred something old inside me. The owner, a woman named Darlene, asked if I painted. I laughed and said, once a lifetime ago. But she invited me to join their Thursday group, mostly women around my age who gathered to paint and share coffee. That first Thursday I was nervous. My hands shook as I held the brush. I didn't know what to paint. But as I started moving the color across the canvas, something softened inside me. Weeks turned into months. My Thursdays became sacred. I'd come home smiling again, smelling faintly of oils and turpentine. And Arthur started noticing. You look different, he said one night. In a good way. But life has its own timing. Just as I felt I was coming alive again, Arthur's health declined. At first, it was just forgetfulness. Then balance issues. Then the diagnosis, early-stage dementia. I became his caregiver. I still painted, but less often. The brushes sat longer between use. And eventually, after 2 difficult years, Arthur passed in his sleep. Peacefully. I sat beside his hospital bed that night holding his hand, whispering stories from our youth. I told him I was sorry for the years I didn't notice he was lonely. I told him I had loved him more than I ever said out loud. And I told him thank you for choosing an ordinary life with me, which turned out to be extraordinary in its own quiet way. Now it's been 11 months since he passed. I still go to the Thursday painting group. I still walk past the park. And I still look in the mirror. I see wrinkles, yes, but also a woman who remembered herself. Who loved. Who stayed. Who changed. People say it's never too late to start again. I don't know if that's entirely true. But I do know this. It's never too early. Because time doesn't wait.